Look, with the vaccine, before we move on, there's some more celebrity breakthrough cases. I'm going to give you some examples. All references available. The link in the description, LighterWithCrowder.com. I don't know when we stop calling it a breakthrough case when it's like a majority of the cases of COVID. You want to know how you don't try, and I'm not saying that. I think this is my stance on the vaccine. It makes sense for some old people. It makes sense absolutely for people who are in high-risk categories. But the truth is, people are mad that they took a vaccine that isn't that effective. Are you vaccinated against measles, mumps, rubella? Everyone here?
Yes. Yeah.
How often have you gone into a restaurant and asked them their policy on mandating measles, rubella? No, because the vaccine works. You're not concerned about it. You're like, well, that guy's not that. Well, I'm vaccinated. You don't trust the vaccine, and so you're mad at everybody else. But we'll give you some examples here of breakthrough cases. This happened on Friday, and I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. Well, let's just show on The View live before Kamala Harris is coming on to The View, and then she has to call in from like a green room. She has to call in for like satellite uplink. You're like,
right,
you know she's in the green room.
Yeah, from Washington D.C. with just 3 rooms away.
Yes. 2 View members tested positive. I don't know how were they testing them before they went on air? Like, should we, Joe by here, should we like wait for the results? Nah, go out, you'll be fine. So then on air, 2 View hosts test positive. Here you go.
Oh my gosh.
2 of you to step off for a second.
Okay.
Anna and we're going to bring
Sonny
you back later.
have to leave.
Yeah. Yes.
And we'll tell you why.
More information later. It's a tease.
We'll tell you why in a couple of minutes. So shall I introduce the vice president?
Yes.
Okay. So, vice president, no.
Nope.
Okay. Shall we dance? Let's do a tap dance.
So quick on your feet,
This
Joy.
is going to be a major news story any minute now.
Yeah.
What happened is that Sonny and Anna both apparently tested positive for COVID. No matter how hard we try, these things happen. They probably have a breakthrough case, and they'll be okay, I'm sure, because they're both vaccinated up the wazoo. You know, a lot of vaccines.
Okay, first up, it might be a breakthrough case. Do you mean by definition? Yes, it absolutely is. If they're vaccinated, it's a breakthrough case. I'm sitting here watching this going, when people try to tell you, it's very rare. But that's 33% of The View. That is a third of The View that just got kicked off live on air. 33% of The View.
I'm not too offended by that, really. That's like a good start.
This is not uncommon, just to be clear. Okay, I'll give you the anecdotal and then the empirical. And this is one thing you guys should know. If you try to search celebrities with COVID, you go to all of these mainstream websites, whether it's NBC, ABC, People, they always try to obfuscate, cover up whether the person was vaccinated or not. You have to dig several pages deep. Sometimes it required me to confirm through Instagram comment replies. So let me just give you a few examples. There are hundreds of examples. Just a few people say, oh, it must be pretty rare for the vaccinated to get cases. You've got Oscar De La Hoya, Chris Rock, Bill Maher. These are all celebrities who are vaccinated, by the way. Chris Rock, Bill Maher, Wendy Williams, Hillary Duff. She got Bendy when she had the stroke on her. Hillary Duff, Jesse Jackson, Kevin Connolly, and his daughter, both Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from KISS. We were spared Peter Criss. Corey Tallow from Slipknot, Barry Sanders, Melissa Joan Hart, Pierce Morgan.
Barry Sanders.
9 members of the New York Yankees, 11 congressmen, Colin Quinn. Look, there's so many. I mean, I could just... All of these people
Clarissa explain that.
Yes.
No, and Colin Quinn was vaccinated, and it's his 2nd time getting COVID, actually.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah. And I won't get into that because we don't have... You can't have accurate data on this.
No.
That's the problem. People say, well, the vaccine, and I get it, the goalposts have changed. The vaccine reduces your chance of going to the hospital or dying. Okay, hold on a second. 2%. 2% is the entire population who end up getting hospitalized. You can find numbers as high as 5, numbers as low as 1. Pretty agreed upon 2%. Bill Maher was talking about it.
Yeah.
That includes 89-year-olds. That includes life expectancy is about the same as the average COVID death. So what's the number for people like us in our 30s and our 20s? Going to the hospital, it's 2% total. Let's say, could it be 1%? Could it be 0.5? Those numbers don't exist. If you have them, comment below. It's very hard to find that. But if the vaccine reduces your chance of hospitalization from 1% or 0.5% to 0.4%, at what point do you say, hey, it's not anti-scientific for a 30-year-old male or female to say no long-term studies? That's by definition. I don't know if the risk is worth the reward when there's less than a 1% chance of me being hospitalized. And you see the cackling broads on The View test positive anyway.
And why are you keeping the numbers away from us of breakthrough cases? I think I understand why. You don't want us to see how many cases there really are.
Well, the CDC doesn't track a lot of breakthrough cases.
They don't, unless you go to the hospital or unless you die. But that's the thing. They track every single other case that is reported, but this one they're like, no, throw it away.
So they only have the data of people in the hospitals, people who are potentially, and even then they haven't tracked all of them. So you have in Israel, 59% of those hospitalized with COVID were vaccinated, right? These numbers were through midsummer.
Yeah.
And the Pfizer vaccine, this was from Mayo, 50,000 people in these studies. The Pfizer vaccine was only 42% effective against the Delta variant in July. That's a pretty big sample group. It was separated for age, for race, for gender, and okay, at what point do people go, you know what? This isn't what we were sold. This is not like other vaccines, namely because we changed the definition. It's not an immunization.
Yes, which is why Joy Behar goes, they're vaccinated up to the wazoo.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't that bother you that they have the disease?
Might be a problem.
Up
they
the
can spread it?
wazoo, and you have to take them out of the room.
Yeah, exactly. For the person who ends up calling in through Skype.
These
She
people-
wasn't even in the room at that point, Kamala Harris.
Boy, she sucks.
You know what else, too? Is the View, they're such morons. This happened last week. I don't have a clip. I'm sure we can probably pull it later from Mug Club. They were talking about the tax increase that
Biden.
former Vice President Joe Biden is, By the way, I haven't heard anyone else say this. Who's going to be paying more in taxes? Above $400,000? What is the presidential salary? Could it be more transparent?
Right.
He's like John Lovitz. Everyone making over $400,000. That's the ticket.
Yeah, see.
Whereas Obama was president, guess what? It was over $250,000. Guess what the VP salary was? I think they're just using him as a standard bearer. Like,
true.
now, what does Joe make? He can't afford it.
You've seen what he's given to charity? Almost nothing.
Joe, how about $400,001? I don't think so.
No.
That's
Strike it
silly.
down.
Yeah, no.
And Whoopi Goldberg was on air talking about the taxes. We'll find a clip later. You guys can show me. She was dumbfounded. Again, she didn't do the research before being on air. And she's sitting there. She's going, "Now I don't know if I looked at the Biden tax increases, and it's anybody making over $400,000. That's crazy. That's not rich. That's upper middle class." I'm like, "What? You didn't know this until you got on air? It's not because
So
you're
out
a
of
woman.
touch.
It's because you're stupid."
Hold on. That's upper middle class?
Yeah. Well, she's
That's
just
pretty rich, I
Well,
think.
she's pretty
Yeah.
rich, but she was saying she thought it was, the 1% making millions. She realizes it's going to affect her. I was looking. It's any joint household making over $400,000. We need to know these people are not rich. Like, really? How much do you make there, Joe?
Well, it's just funny because, Whoopi Goldberg doesn't think she's rich. She's Whoopi Goldberg.
I make $10 million, and let me tell you, that is not rich.
The point is she didn't know until she went on air.
Yeah, exactly.
These
Just
people are
absolutely
journalists.
uninformed.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.